Well, another hike to the federal carbon tax on April the 1st, April Fool's Day, will have Canadians paying more at the pumps and could trickle down and impact other prices as well. CTV's Scott Hurst joins us now with more on this. And Scott, this is no joke. When is the carbon tax increasing, and by how much will this be affecting Canadians?
Jen, that's it. April 1st, a nearly 25% increase in the carbon tax, which means for everyday Canadians, it's pushing up the price on home heating and gasoline. This has been one of the key policies of the Liberal government's plan to combat climate change for many years, but it's no secret that it is growing incredibly more divisive and extremely unpopular, not just with everyday Canadians, but also with provincial leaders, and not just conservative provincial leaders, notably a public call from the Liberal Premier in Newfoundland and Labrador to halt the increase coming up on April 1st. Canadian Taxpayers Federation is warning everyday Canadians could see their bills go up, and the Canadian Federation of Independent Business believes it'll cost businesses to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars in 2024. The Prime Minister, though, defending the tax and the increase coming up in a little more than 2 weeks from now, meeting face-to-face yesterday with one of his staunchest provincial critics in Alberta Premier Danielle Smith, who urged him to back down on the planned carbon tax increase on April 1st. Here's more from Trudeau and the Premier of Alberta.
We know there's a lot of families across this country who don't have huge amounts of choices in terms of, oh, I'm just going to buy a much more fuel-efficient car, I'm going to replace my roof or my insulation or my windows. That's a hard investment to make. So we wanted to make sure that people who continue to not be able to change much in their behaviors would get that money back. And that's what we do with the price on pollution.
I reiterated the growing opposition to the federal carbon tax, which includes 7 premiers, federal members of parliament, and everyday Albertans and Canadians. I went as far as to suggest to the Prime Minister that he could achieve a win if he listened to the growing calls against the carbon tax and reversed his decision to increase the tax, which will amount to about a 23% increase on April 1st.
You heard the Prime Minister talking about getting money back, defending the plan by saying rebate checks actually put more money in the pockets of many Canadians. Now, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, leader of the official opposition, plans to turn up the heat on Parliament Hill next week by introducing a variety of motions and votes, forcing the Prime Minister and the Liberal government to continue to defend the plan on Parliament Hill. In the meantime, Jen, that tax is going up close to 25% on April 1st, just over 2 weeks from now.
We'll be bracing for that. CTV National Scott Hurst joining us live this morning. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks a lot, Jen.